Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Your Keys to Mastery, your numerology forecast for August 18th to August 20th, 2022. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Arlene Grace, and I am a spiritual coach, channel, numerologist, and alchemist. So I'm going to preface this reading with an idea. Imagine that you were more than your body, right? Imagine that you were more than this face, than this form, than your thoughts, than the emotions that move through you. And so I invite you to play with me for just a moment and to take a deep breath and to come into the body. So just taking a deep breath in, centering yourself, grounding yourself into the body. And as you do, I'm going to invite you to bring your awareness to your right hand. And so you bring your awareness to your right hand, and now you can feel it, you can sense it, you can see, you can probably feel some tingling or some warmth. And now I'm going to invite you to bring your awareness to your left foot. So you're just shifting your awareness to your left foot. And now you're feeling, sensing your foot, your left foot. And so just in this practice, we see that the body, the hand, cannot sense its own hand. The hand cannot hand. It cannot sense the hand. Our left foot cannot sense its left foot. That it really is the senses, our 5 senses and more, that come to be aware of our hand, our foot. And so when we come to our senses now, our sense of hearing, feeling, touch, taste, smell, our senses can't sense themselves, can they? Our hearing can't hear, our tasting can't taste, our seeing can't see. We just see, right? We just hear, we just taste, we just touch, we feel the draft and we get cold, right? And so our senses work in tandem with our body so that we can be aware of our body. And so now our mind is what is paying attention to our senses. Our mind is now giving us the thought, oh, I'm cold, I'll get a blanket. Oh, wow, I just got shivers. Wow, oh, that's hot, right? And so our mind is paying attention to our senses so that we can now be aware of our body. Now our mind cannot mind. It does not know the thoughts. It cannot thought, right? There is no thoughtness with our thoughts. And so our mind is now greater, which means that our consciousness out here, not in our body, flows through our body, is now what is coming into awareness of our thoughts. Our consciousness dictates our thoughts, the way that we feel about our day when we wake up. Oh my God, it's going to be a great day. And so now you start to feel and see and sense a beautiful day. Or you wake up and you're like, oh man, I'm late. And so now you start to see things under pressure, under stress, I'm going to be late. I have to rush. I have to do this. I have to do that. Oh, I forgot to do this. And so our thoughts, our consciousness is now what is driving us. And our awareness of our own consciousness is this connection to all, connection to everything. And so now with that premise, it's our thoughts that are dictating what is actually happening in our body. Imagine that everything was just a belief system. Under this premise, we can imagine that our body is just being animated by our thoughts. And at the same time, our body is being programmed by our belief systems. And so the reason why I'm speaking to this is because today's energy is that of the 8 of Clubs 5. And so as I was tuning into the energy earlier on, it was just this, I could feel aches and pains in the body. I could feel people in chronic disease. I could feel people in this place of, oh man, I felt better. And then suddenly I started to feel horrible again. And it just got worse and it got worse and it got worse. And so it was this thinking. Our thinking was getting caught up in the past. And so now we were recreating the past of I'm in pain. Oh my gosh, I always wake up with this. Oh my goodness, whenever it rains, I get an ache in my bones. All of this being a belief system. a belief system that we continue to play with and recreate in our body, because our body's always listening. And so with that thinking, this thinking of an idea that we can continue to just play with. How many of us have played with an idea that we just keep on telling the same story? We keep on being in, I'll use the example of being in the drama of, oh man, this happened to me on the road as I was driving, I got cut off. And so you go and you tell your sister, then you go and you call up your brother and you tell him the story, and then you go and you tell your mom. And so in that, you have this energy of, I'm so angry, I'm frustrated, I was scared, I did this. And so you're now starting to recreate all of this energy in your body, which is now creating dis-ease. Because in that mentation, in that repeating of the story and sharing and playing in the drama with someone else, you're now allowing for the mind, the brain, to go into fight or flight every single time. Fight or flight, where fight or flight worked when we were in the age where we could be attacked by a puma or attacked by a dinosaur. But that part of the brainstem is still within our own bodies. And so our body is now waiting, it's on alert. What am I going to do? Am I going to run? Am I going to freeze? Am I going to do this? And so in that, we're now having a rush of 286 miles per hour, all of these hormones that rush down the vagus nerve and affect our body, creating dis-ease, depression, anxiety, pain. Our body starts to move into a place of it's only using the organs that keep us safe in that moment. And so as we continue to play with these thoughts, these ideas, these beliefs, we continue to recreate them in the body. But what if you just had an awareness today? And what if that awareness was, I'm more than this body? And that if my mind is what is creating what I'm feeling in my body, and not just that, but the ideas that come from our tribe, from our culture, from society, from medical, everything is correlated. Everything is correlative, or most science is correlative science, which means that if I do this, then I get that. And so there's this cause and effect. I remember my grandmother used to get upset with me when I was 7 years old because I would take a shower and then I would go to sleep. And she would just yell at me saying, if you go to sleep with your hair wet, you're going to wake up blind. Well, that's a belief system. It's also a superstition. It's also a correlation where somewhere, somehow, my grandmother discovered that someone had done that. And so she took on that belief. But the thing is that if we are not our body, and if our body is capable of being programmed, taking on these ideas and belief systems, then our mind has the power to negate that idea. Our mind has the power to negate, I don't believe that's true. I don't believe that's true, because if I am more than my body, then really and truly that means that I am this energy that is flowing through this body. I'm the consciousness. And this consciousness gets to choose how it's going to feel, what thoughts it's going to take on, and knows that there is this, that we are more. If we are energy that is moving through this body, and this body is being animated by our thoughts, and our body can actually just body, it actually knows exactly what it does, what to do, that it can heal itself, that it can run, that we can just think a thought, lift arm lifts, that we can think a thought, go run, we go and run, where we have athletes who meditate on their journey, on their run, so that they are running in their mind as quick as they can. They see themselves finishing across the finish line, winning the gold medal. And so their body follows suit. And so today, your invitation is to pay attention to, what am I feeling in the body? Am I continuing to play the idea that I am in chronic pain, or that I have this ailment, or that I am unattractive, or I'm fat, or I'm gaining weight, or sugar means that you gain weight, or diets mean this, or all of these things, and just notice? Are you taking ideas that are correlative? Or are you willing to believe that you are more than your body, and that your body is limitless, or your thinking can be limitless, and your body will move in the direction of your thoughts. And so paying attention to the thoughts that you think about yourself. Are you appreciating or are you depreciating your body? Are you always looking at your tummy thinking, can't wait to get rid of this? Or are you thinking about generative diseases that run in your family? What if that was all untrue? And so there's this beautiful opportunity today, because when you think of the Eight of Clubs, it's this, I can move down this pathway of thinking that just keeps on building momentum and momentum and momentum and momentum. But with this Five, it's this, but do you really want to believe all of your thoughts? Do you really want to believe and take on all of these ideas that may not necessarily be true? This entire month is about discovering the truth of who you are, of what is possible, not just in your body, but in your entire life. And so noticing in the different places, in the different aspects of your life, in your family, in your career, in your intimate relationships, with your children, in your business, with your money. Because if you're creating it in your body based on your thought, then you're also creating it in your experience with life. And so if you're in a place of thinking lack, not just lack in the body, but lack in your wealth, lack in your value of what is coming through your body and what you're experiencing in your life, then there's the invitation today to shift that, right? And so today, your key is to really pay attention to, am I willing to think that I can have more? Am I willing to think that I'm more than this form, this body? Am I willing to think that I'm more than this ailment that I'm feeling, that I'm more than what I see in my bank accounts, that I'm more than what I am experiencing with my life? Am I willing to feel the aliveness in my body, the joy, the happiness that all begins with me? Am I willing to choose me first? And so in all of this, there is this opportunity to have this fulfillment of love, this fulfillment of wealth, this fulfillment, but it all begins with the energy of, who do you think you are? What do you think you are? And so it's a beautiful energy to come into it's a blessing day. And wouldn't it be a blessing to realize that you are more? Wouldn't it be a blessing to realize that you can actually have more? And that comes with the power of your own thought and the ability to shift your own thoughts in the moment, the ability to shift how you're feeling in the moment, because your emotions are messages. I don't think I like that thought. Messages that I don't think, the stuck energy, the pains that are in the body are just this manifestations of ailments and emotions and beliefs. And what if that could just shift? What if we could shift into well-being rather than looking to be healthy? Because if you're looking to be healthy, then all you're asking for is another health crisis to show you that you can get healthy. And so noticing your thoughts. Then we move into Friday. Friday is an interesting energy, because now we're moving into Seven of Clubs, 6. And it feels like that energy of Friday is going to be very similar to Saturday. We just kind of flip. And here it's this, okay. If I have this idea, if I'm playing with this idea that I am more than this body, that I'm more than what I see, sense, know, feel, touch, that this power of thought, who knew this power of thought can help me to create things, create experiences in my life, could bring me more? Then am I willing to continue on this journey? And am I willing to now come into the space of, well, if I'm not more than my body and I'm this consciousness that flows through, I am light. then will I come into deeper connection with my body? And will I trust what's coming in? Will I do the work? Meaning, will I feel into my body? Will I take an opportunity to feel into what's happening in my body? If my body only comes into my awareness through my own senses, well, am I actually paying attention to my body? Am I actually coming into the body? Am I scanning the body? Am I loving the body? Am I valuing this form that animates this energy that flows through? And if I am I hearing the messages? Because it feels like there's this beautiful opportunity to come into the way that I'm hearing it is, oh, take this supplement. This supplement isn't serving you at this time. Oh, that habit that you have of, I don't know, I'm getting like stacking all of these supplements, these diet medications or blah, blah, blah. That's not serving you. Reduce the dosage, right? And of course, if any of these are medications, please go see a medical professional. But the invitation here is to just tune into your higher self, tune into the body, tune into this form. Because with the capacity to speak to you, with the capacity to give you messages, you'll start to receive the feedback that will allow for you to move forward, right? Many of these things are correlative, which is why we can see that many of these things don't work. If diets worked, if supplements worked, then there wouldn't be a gajillion of them out there. If things worked for face care, for, wrinkles, for all of those things, then there wouldn't be millions of them out there. It's based on your belief. And so if there is correlation and your body knows best, then your invitation is to come here and trust. And to trust from a place of coherence, right? Because this 7 of clubs, it's really a leap in trusting yourself, a leap in developing a relationship with your body so you can hear it. It's really a beautiful energy. And so your key is to now come into this deeper value of this form, of what the body is doing for you. The body's just listening. The body's just hearing. It's just doing it. Aye, captain, mind. I'm going to do the things. And in this raising of value, understanding that many of these ideas and these programs and these belief systems that we took on were from a very early age. It's now coming into this place of valuing the innocence that is within you, the innocence of who you are, right? When we see these children and they come in, they are innocent. They have no idea, right? They come here in survival. So they cry to be fed, they cry to be changed, they smile at you, they love you, they just, and they are in full trust. And so they're taking on all of these ideas. They're taking on how they were, how their mom is, and how their dad loves, and all of these things out of that innocence, because they aren't able to discern. But within you, you're being invited to value the innocence that's within you. The innocence of, I didn't know any better. The value of, this innocence within me is still here, and we can call that the inner child. It's still within me. And as this innocence is within me, I'm going to value that, and I'm going to allow myself to come in discernment to, am I valuing this experience? Am I valuing this, what's happening for my body as I take this supplement? Am I valuing that message about food that's coming through? Oh, my body doesn't want milk today. It's not because milk is bad. It's just my body doesn't feel like having milk today. Oh, my body just wants potatoes. All right, cool. I'm going to do it. Right? And just paying attention, because in this raising of your value, what's going to happen is there's going to be this uprise of the addictions that we have to the supplements, to the belief that it's going to work, to the food, to the satiation, to the feeling full. And so your key is asking yourself, well, does that serve me? Do I value that? It feels like the next couple of days is just a massive shift in our own thought, in our own belief, in the power of our thought, and the opportunity to shift that within our own bodies so that we can begin to experience that in our life. Now we move into Saturday, and Saturday is like, it's integration. And so it's an interesting day because it's all about like, it's going to be very emotional. And so it feels like this emotional cleansing, this beautiful opportunity to just, for me, integration is taking a beautiful opportunity to just rest, to take an opportunity to be in presence with myself, to take time, time away from the kids, an opportunity to just be in meditation, an opportunity to be contemplative. And here there's this is really what your invitation today is to take the opportunity to nurture your mind, to allow for this integration of new ideas, new thoughts, to releasing belief systems to happen for you, that it can happen in just a moment of presence. That when we can come into a moment of presence, what happens is there's this centropy. So there's this centropy of this falling away of old ideas, of old programming, as new ideas continue to come. It happens at the same time. And so as we have this feeling of this cleansing, this detoxing in the body, there's also this detoxing of the mind that can be supported by loving yourself, loving gestures, nurturing yourself, being in the energy of love, loving another, and yet loving another from a space of I am full, and allowing ourselves to notice, and discern, because I feel like there's this work hard energy there too, or this perfection energy that's kind of here as well, where you're like, okay, hold on. Well, what if working hard is to be present? Like being present is that working hard? What if you're playing with the idea of it's going to be 80% inner work today and 20% inspired action? Because that's really what's been happening with the consciousness. We've been shifting from this work hard, play hard, do hard to, okay, I'm going to let the world, and I'm going to be inspired as things arise to go and be spontaneous and go and play, or go and like, I'm not going to chase anymore. I'm going to be here in my own energy, focused on what it is that I want to experience, the feeling of that intention of that. I'm going to allow that to come in my direction, and I'm going to meet it there, right? And so there's this meeting of these energies as you come into this place of integration, of shift. Your key here to just nurture the mind. Our mind can fall into this place of, ego mind, where it's like, but I've believed that for so long. I believed that from when we were a kid. Like, I believed that sugar made you fat, and now you're telling me it doesn't. And so there's this like safety of the mind where it might want to fight you a little bit to keep that belief. And so it's this nurturing of the mind of, oh, okay, well, are you willing to take a journey with me on this new idea, this new belief system? What if we were more? And how can we support one another, right? And so it's a beautiful energy over the next couple of days. It feels like there can be huge shift. And so I'm going to bring you back to, what if you're more than your body? What if you are more than your senses? What if you're more than your mind? What if you're more than this face? What if you were just more? And in the more, then what would you be? And if you come to have that feeling of what you are, which is source energy that's flowing through, well, then what's possible? What could be possible for you? Beautiful. Questions, comments, please feel free to share, and I will be happy to respond. Please let me know how this resonates for you. Feels like this message was very specific. So Have a beautiful weekend, and I will see you in the spaces. So much love.